We sort of underestimate basic functionality delivered well, don't we? And we just assume that, gee whiz technology or whoever coined that phrase should be shot. But, the up-to-date stuff that really looks amazing is what clients want. But actually it's not, is it, I would imagine?
People always want, whatever product we bring out to market, somebody always wants that but one more. That's just, unfortunately, the way that it is. And certainly the way in which our customers are now working, they are looking at these spaces as multi-use. I mean, traditionally, somebody would have looked to design a space, and they would say, this meeting room is going to be for video conferencing, it's going to be for general meetings, it's going to be whatever it's going to be, and they would then design the technology around that application. Whereas the use and the applications of these rooms now pretty much is endless. And a lot of the rooms that we're seeing coming into play now are this term huddle space. And huddle space means something different to different people. Huddle space is, it's where people would meet casually in order to be able to present, talk business, have a general meeting, but without it being a formal meeting space. So where you may book a meeting space to present to a client, if you wanted to catch up with a colleague or you wanted to just have a quick conference, bring somebody over Skype or Link or whatever it's going to be, it's a space in which you would do that. And although traditionally that may have been the corner of a canteen, people now need AV in these spaces. And the bring your own device isn't about somebody bringing their video conferencing laptop device. It's about them coming with a presentation that they finished on their phone, on the train, on the way there, and they want to then show their colleague. And people feel most comfortable because they've presented and practiced using that technology.
I mean, it's becoming a real user-driven environment, which I would think by default it's very difficult to predict what's going to come down the line. It must be an impossible user requirement process, I would have thought. I mean, how you stay ahead of the curve must be very difficult to do in terms of budgets, requirements, and so on. I mean, how do you predict what users are going to want in 6 months' time?
Microsoft Hub is something that you would look at, quite definitely. Again, we're a little bit fearful about it, only because we sell technicians to do all that stuff, and we want to carry on doing that. But it is a very user-friendly system, isn't it?
We're investing in something, and then finding a market, the market's moved on, we've invested in it. It must be a nightmare. It must be I mean, decision cycles take a long time to get through, don't they?
Yes, well, of course, but I mean, I don't know whether you had another look at the Microsoft Hub again at ISE, but I mean, I think it's certainly very impressive. And the other thing about it is that obviously it's been put forward in this country now by various integrators, and it is very accessible, and you can use lots of things with it, and then you can save whatever changes you made. So just as you were talking about people getting together really informally, he might have done his presentation on the train on the way down, then people can change it on the screen and then it will be saved to the laptop. And you've got everything there really that you need.
Well, the key is AV's working the way people work, which is probably a natural progression, and that's how it should be, I suppose. I mean, if I can just hold it to the floor a bit, I mean, are there any particular issues in terms of technology you solve or explanations that are worrying you or you'd like more info on, or like to bounce a question off the panelists here that are particularly concerning you at all?
I'm just curious from the panel, particularly maybe from those who are working in the front line with clients, educating the users to use the technology in the room. Is that something, how do you come across that? We've done several installations where it's a really nice project, but try to get the users to actually, connect to it without having to call an AV technician every time. It's a challenge. Any good insight into that?
I mean, that's what AV is about, isn't it? It's about people at the end of the day. It's not about technology, isn't it? It's about coping with difficult problems and people who are at the centre of them, I suppose.
I can add to that, actually. We have two systems where we've had to ask our event managers or our catering staff to operate audiovisual equipment. The first is an audio system where we play music, basically for walk-in or for background to receptions. It's QSys system. And so we've done, as Owen says, we've designed a GUI. It's really user-friendly. They can choose from the library of music, and then they can also just choose to play the music or use a microphone. Then on the other thing we've got, which is a digital signage system, we've got lots and lots of NEC screens, about 100. They are all positioned in certain places for certain suites, and we sell all the rooms in suites. And our event managers take a JPEG and they literally put it in a field on a database, and the database then runs it through according to the time of the conference and the room and the time and the position of that screen. And they literally just drop in a logo with the word logo, or they drop in a logo with the word video wall, or wherever it's going. And it's so straightforward that either, as I say, the catering manager or the event manager can organise it without any AV training whatsoever. It's about the software between the main product and, in fact, our diary.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much. We had more time. These sort of sessions can go on for hours, really. But I think we're out of time, quite frankly. So thank you very much to my panellists. Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for staying with us and following us. Thank you.